feast. Today is, we begin the celebration of St. John Maximovitch, St. John of Shanghai and San Francisco. He was the patron saint of my monastery in California. So I have a very special veneration for him. I had the privilege because we actually did all of our shopping in San Francisco, which at first was only from Point Reyes, 35 miles away, but later on it got to be a little much from 250 miles away. We'd go, every time I would go into San Francisco, I would go and pray at his relics, which was usually at least once a week. So St. John is somebody very special to me, and I hope he will become very special to you all as well. He's certainly one of the most beloved of the American saints, and we can truly claim him as an American saint because at the end of his ministry, he was in San Francisco. But he also, for example, he's the one who founded the St. John's Cathedral up in Washington, D.C. And before that, his first episcopal assignment was in Shanghai during the Japanese occupation, which was a very brutal time in Shanghai. And he accompanied his flock to the Philippines as they fled the Chinese communists. And he came in 1948-49 to Washington to plead before Congress. He sat on the steps of the Capitol, all dressed as a bishop, as a monk, for 3 days, until somebody noticed him, happened to be a senator, who came in and talked to him. And as a result, he was able to bring 50,000 people into America. All of those Russians who had fled the Russian Empire had become stateless. And so they had been living in China, and so many came to America. The rest dispersed throughout the entire Pacific Basin and beyond. After he got them settled, he was given a new assignment in Europe, Western Europe. He was based in Paris. His cathedral was in a garage, and it was a very humble setting. But he had parishes all over Western Europe and Great Britain. So he became a great advocate for the veneration of the saints of Europe. Those pre-schism saints, of which there are hundreds and thousands, and whose relics lie in the cathedrals all over Western Europe, and they were all Orthodox. So a lot of names that are strange to us now because they're Anglo-Saxon or some kind of Frankish, which is German, and other languages, and much less the Celtic languages, which we can't even figure out how to spell or pronounce, these were our great saints of the Orthodox Church. And so St. John was largely responsible for the restoration of the veneration of the Western saints to Orthodox piety. He also worked with various groups. He was an enthusiastic supporter of the Western Rite. He got the Gallican Rite going in France, and he had even celebrated it himself in San Francisco, which must have been quite an interesting thing. St. John did not flee from communism. If he knew something was right, he did it. After his stint in Western Europe, he was transferred back into to his old flock, most of which or a great number of whom were residing in San Francisco. And so he continued his ministry there, contributed greatly to the building of the great cathedral that houses his relics, and got sued by the parish council because there were people who were jealous of him and who accused him of all sorts of financial misdealings. And thankfully, there was a very good and honest Irish judge who completely dismissed the case, basically, and saying that he's absolutely innocent and the whole thing was nonsense. So thank God for good Irish judges. So he died in 1966. He actually died accompanying the Kursk route icon, and in its presence he was in Seattle, and he basically sat down in his chair and never got up again. He was finally canonized in, I believe, 1974. No, he died in 1966. He was canonized in 93, I think. 93?
Might have been.
No, it wasn't the 70s. You're at least 20 years off.
No, I was there.
So,
I was there.
yeah. So it was, anyway, his relics for many years reposed in the crypt of the church, down about 3 or 4 stories below street level. And eventually his relics were moved to the side of the church. He is incorrupt. When they opened his casket, he was there. I know a priest who was leading the revesting of his relics, which they do periodically. And evidently, he's as supple as if he had just died. It's quite a miracle. That which has been exposed to light and air has gotten dark. It's oxidized, but otherwise, it's an extraordinary state of incorruption. And so his relics are this immense source of grace, and his prayers are an immense source of grace. Thousands of people all over the world have been healed by his prayers. During his life, he was a healer, and he also had great care for children. When he was in Shanghai, he collected the orphans. You know, there was this practice of when a family had a child that they couldn't afford, they would simply leave it out for it to be eaten by the dogs in the streets. And so he went and collected babies and created huge orphanages. Many of these orphans accompanied him to America. There may be a couple of people left alive, but that was in the 30s, so that was a long time ago. So many stories. I personally have seen a number of the miracles that he's worked. One man healed of cancer, and another healed of emphysema. A baby who was healed of deafness, so that by the time that she was 3 years old, she was singing in harmony, and having been born stone cold deaf. It's amazing. He's truly a beloved figure throughout the entire world. And all you have to do is ask for his prayers, and suddenly he becomes your friend. So I would strongly encourage you to pray to St. John and get to know him, and he will get to know you as well. So through the prayers of our Holy Father John, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on us.
Amen.